Folks, in this episode, we are thrilled to welcome Callum Laing, a seasoned entrepreneur, best selling author, and strategic advisor to numerous public and private boards. As the founder of the Webland Director Program and former CEO of MBH Corporation PLC, Callum has a wealth of experience in growing businesses to new heights, navigating international markets, and fostering impactful strategic partnerships. And with over 100 merger and acquisition transactions and 500 million USD in shareholder value creation under his belt, Callum brings unparalleled insights into the future of business. And today we are going to delve into a topic, the future of business navigating global markets. And before we get into the topic, here is an exciting twist. Let us tickle our guest brain first. So, Callum, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, here comes the first word, curiosity.
Essential.
Invention.
Future.
Okay, my next word is future.
Exciting. Full of potential.
Full of potential. Awesome. Next is book.
Write your own.
Movie.
Lock, stock, and two smoking barrels.
Business.
Fun.
Partnership.
Essential.
Universe.
Mind blowing.
Leadership.
Authentic.
Role model.
Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson.
And the last one is success.
Enjoying the journey.
Enjoying the journey. Superb. And those were spot on responses. And Callum, thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round so sportively. And there is one more rapid fire round toward the end of the episode. So before I formally welcome you to the show, let me welcome the audience. So, folks, you have tuned into TGV, and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life but also to your career, and one conversation at a time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Callum, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Naveen. Looking forward to this call.
So I'm excited to talk about the future of the business. But before we talk about the business, let's begin with your success mantra. So please share the top three things that have contributed to your success so far.
So I think other people are absolutely critical. I think so. That would be one. I think a fair dollop of luck is also another one that is worth acknowledging. And then the third one would be persistence, sticking with it. I think that those three things: other people, acknowledging luck, and persistence, are what's contributed to my success.
Yeah, I rarely come across these people acknowledging luck, right? But that also plays a critical role. And let's talk about the toughest lessons that you have learned in your entrepreneurial journey.
So many. And then normally I'm quite a slow learner, so I normally have to learn them 2 or 3 times before they actually sink in. But look, I think most of my success came when I stopped trying to do everything myself, and I started realizing that a lot of the pieces of the puzzle already exist. You don't need to invent everything yourself. If you can team up with other people, you can move much faster.
Makes sense, actually. I think people are essential, and as you mentioned in your first response as well. And Callum, you have been part of over 100 mergers and acquisitions, right? So my next question is around forming these strategic partnerships in the business, right? So what are the key factors that someone should consider when forming strategic business partnerships in today's volatile market?
So the first book I ever wrote was all about how you form partnerships. It's called Progressive Partnerships. And your listeners, if they go to callumlaing.com, they can get a free copy of it. So look, I'm a huge believer in partnerships are essential for getting ahead. But most people go into partnerships just focused on what they want out of the partnership. And it never works. You have to go into a partnership focused on what you can deliver. And I think if you approach from that perspective, then there's no end of opportunity out there.
I think that's a profound statement. It's not about what you are going to get from it, but what you can offer as well, right? I think that plays a critical role.
Exactly.
Amazing. That's a great reminder. All right, so now let's talk about your framework, right, for enabling businesses to become small giants, so in their own field. So can you provide on example of this particular thing in action?
Yeah, I mean, so we came up with an idea that we called the agglomeration. Myself and my business partner came up with a model called the agglomeration model, and we wrote a book, Agglomerate Idea to IPO in 12 months. And it's really about helping small business owners to level the playing field with big companies. And the way that we do that is we take a company public as a holding company, and then we bring good owner operated businesses into that public entity, but we leave the founder in control. So it's their business, it's their culture, it's their hiring and firing, it's their brand. Everything stays the same. But now, when they are going for pitching for business, they're part of a big global multinational. When they are trying to recruit the top staff, they can level the playing field with big companies because they can offer stock options, they can do their own M&A deals. So yeah, the whole model that we built was really about helping small businesses to level the playing field with big corporations.
Also, when somebody wants to expand into international markets, right, what are some 10 critical considerations for businesses if they want to expand into international markets?
Yeah, I think look, it is important to acknowledge that there are obviously different cultural issues in every market. Every market is different. But I think people get obsessed with that. And what they miss is that business is fundamentally the same anywhere in the world. Ultimately, you need to create value for the other person. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to get the money out of their pocket and into yours. So um, the fundamentals of business remain the same. If you treat your team right, if you treat your clients right, then you're successful. And each country has little nuances and challenges, but that's what keeps it fun. And I think it's important to remember that there's more similarities than there are differences.
Callum, that
Apologies.
is very clear. Like, I think adding value is very important, not just to your employees, but customers and all the corresponding stakeholders as such. Now, my question is more around the culture part. Like, if somebody is doing business in India, let's assume, and they wanted to expand to Europe or New Zealand or Australia, then cultural differences come into picture, right? So, how important it is for businesses to understand and adapt to cultural differences in international business, and maybe you can provide an example where this was pivotal based on your own experience or journey.
Yeah, look, I think I've done business in 20 plus countries. Every country is a little bit different. I think the way to shortcut it is so what a lot of small businesses do is they decide they're going to expand into a new country. They go into that new country, they spend a lot of money hiring and firing staff, trying to adapt local staff to their own culture. And then, yeah, they get very frustrated with how business is done in the new country. I think in general, a much smarter way of doing it is to look at, can you partner with or even acquire a company on the ground? And that way you start with their existing client base, and you have a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm a big fan of finding local partners on the ground, or trying to acquire a company in the country rather than just setting up from scratch.
No, it makes sense actually. Like, I think you can leverage the established field, and instead of reinventing the wheel, you can already, you since you have something running, right, I think it will expedite your operations as well, and it will be able to quickly learn. That's a smart tip, in fact. And
Exactly right.
now let's talk about the future of business. What trends are you seeing shaping the future of business in the next decade?
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff coming together at the moment. I mean, obviously, the one everyone is talking about is AI, and I think you can't ignore it because it's just such a in all aspects of business, it's going to be a game changer. But I think I'm very excited about the possibilities. I think it allows you to do a lot more for your clients than you would be able to do with kind of constrained resources. So I think that's very exciting. I think we're moving to a model where individuals, the kind of the old model of sort of a traditional employee joining a company, working for that company for years. Look, that will still exist to a large degree, but I think there's a lot more companies coming together, almost like freelancers that just come together on projects, deliver on those projects, and then disband into other projects. And if I look at one of my most recent businesses, the Veblen Directive Program, which is helping people from India and all over the world to get their first board seats anywhere in the world. Our CFO is in Melbourne, Australia. Our CEO is in the UK. I'm based in Singapore. Our operations officer is in Portugal. Our team is dotted all over the world, and yeah, some of them I've never met, and I think that's really, and our client base is global as well. So I think that's, to me, it has its challenges, but the opportunities are so much bigger. And I think more and more businesses will be thinking globally from day one rather than just locked into their geographic footprint.
So it's more about freelancing opportunities, and people come together and work as a team, irrespective of their geographical location. And most importantly, the last point that you mentioned is businesses will think global right from day one. Okay, so this is great. And and other than that, artificial intelligence is going to play a pivotal role. And yeah, we are really super excited about what how things are going to shape up in the next 5 to 10 years, and it is changing the landscape of business as such, right? And wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Callum, we have had an amazing conversation so far, and it's time for us to add some more excitement and some more fun element to the episode. So, if you're ready, I'll kick off the second rapid fire round.
Do it. I'm ready.
Yeah, here comes the first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Partner well.
Okay. And biggest lesson learned from a business failure?
I yeah, learned so many. Things are never as bad as you think.
Things are never bad as you think. Okay. And can you describe yourself in just one word?
Ambitious.
And a dream collaboration partner, living or historical?
Uh, I think it would be hard to turn down an opportunity to work with Elon Musk at this point.
Okay, somehow my guess failed. I thought you would say Sir Richard Branson.
Well, him too. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And what is the favorite business success story that inspires you?
I really like individual, like small people, like small businesses that have just got started with like one idea, one crazy little niche idea. I think what's exciting about business these days is you can, because we have a global world and because people are hit by that, they want to work with people who share the same values. You can have these tiny niches and find 10,000 people that share that niche anywhere in the world. So those are the business stories that inspire me at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And name your favorite podcast besides your own.
Yours, obviously.
Okay, here comes the last one for the rapid fire round. What is one electronic gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself?
Good question. So I think it exists. I haven't got it yet. I want a pair of glasses so I don't have to look down at my laptop the whole time. So I can have like a big screen in front of me. I spend too much time on a plane, so it would be great to be able to tap away and have this going. I know they exist. I just haven't got around to getting them yet.
Love it. And Callum, let's flip back to the mainstream. So, what advice would you give to new entrepreneurs about maintaining resilience during tough times? Business is not all about rosy picture or good times, right? So, people should be prepared for tough times.
So I'm a big fan of advisory boards right now. And I think every entrepreneur should build their own advisory board. It doesn't need to cost you anything. You can just build 4 or 5 people with a little bit more experience than you, take them out for coffee once a month. And I think it's very, very valuable when times are tough to have somebody else that can give you a bit of clarity and a bit of fresh perspective. Equally, I think all entrepreneurs should sit on other people's advisory boards. I think it's when we're in the business ourselves, we think we're the only people with these problems. Everybody else's business seems to be running really smoothly. We know that our business is really tough. When you go and sit on the board of other companies, you realize that actually lots of people are dealing with lots of problems, and some people have already figured out some answers, and you can borrow those answers, and you've figured out some answers that you can help them with. I'm a big fan of entrepreneurs having boards and sitting on boards.
Yeah. And these days, even advisory boards are quickly accessible, and it is not specific to a particular country, but virtual boardrooms are also existing, and people get paid for that, and they can hire some freelancers also, right? I think that's a great advice, and I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and I look forward to hosting you again in future. And before I let you go, how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice podcast?
That's been fun. It's always good talking about business. It's my favorite topic.
Yeah, good one. We got a lot of insights, and I'm sure our TGV family is going to love these insights. And Callum, thank you so much once again for joining us today, and look forward to
Sure.
hosting you again.
It's been a pleasure, Naveen. All the best.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best as well. All right, so friends, that was our episode with Callum Laing. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to TGV, please subscribe to the Guiding Voice podcast from wherever you have tuned in, because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And also, if you are already subscribed to our podcast, I request you to leave your rating or review either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, because every rating and review will help us reach wider audience. And if you have enjoyed the conversation, do not hesitate to share with at least three of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the Guiding Voice, to spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. Now, let's hop into the trivia segment. Having had amazing conversation about future of business and expanding your business in the global market space and so on, I thought I would present you three less known facts about businesses or companies that expanded globally first. First one is about Coca Cola. While Coca Cola is now synonymous with global presence, its first international venture was in Canada in 1906. However, what's lesser known is that Coca Cola's global expansion was expedited during World War II, when it was introduced to American soldiers serving overseas. And this strategic move laid the foundation for its widespread popularity worldwide. Next is about McDonald's. McDonald's is known for its ubiquitous presence globally, but its entry into Japan had some interesting challenges. When McDonald's first opened its doors in Tokyo in 1971, it faced resistance due to cultural differences and skepticism about fast food. And to adapt, McDonald's introduced localized menu items like the teriyaki burger and embraced Japanese customs like bowing to customers, and which eventually led to its success in the Japanese market. Third is about Toyota. Toyota's expansion into the United States in the late 1950s faced skepticism from American consumers who were loyal to domestic brands. However, Toyota strategically positioned itself as a manufacturer of fuel efficient and reliable cars, which resonated with American consumers during the oil crisis of the 1970s. And this focus on quality and innovation helped Toyota gain traction in the US market and eventually become one of the top selling car brands in the country. So that's it from my side from the trivia perspective. Likewise, if you are aware of any interesting facts related to international business, do let me know. Also, if you have any best practices related to expanding your business globally, do let me know. And I would love to hear your thoughts. So thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome community. Folks, do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback, guest speaker suggestions, and topic recommendations either through our social media platforms, or you can also email us at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, and 4 as in digit 4 and you as in letter U, and let's create content that resonates with you. I'm your host Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life but also your career. And until next time, take care, stay inspired. Remember, the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care.